Sally Heyman, County Commissioner, District 4, Miami-Dade County. Always public service in career and volunteer lifestyle. Always was a volunteer since before I was an adult on charities and civic issues. That was the influence of my parents. Career-wise, at a college I taught in our public school system. I went to these public schools and got onto Miami Police Department. I worked juvenile and then a crime specialist in the field of criminal justice with my degrees. I worked in 2 different police departments, specialized in crime prevention, and actually became a crime specialist. I would analyze a situation for preventability. I would come into a business, a hospital or something, and determine how to make it safer as a hedge against liability. I serve as an expert witness. I do a lot of advice, and if it doesn't suffice with advice, we go to trial. As an expert witness on negligent security and crime prevention. During hurricane season, it could be nonstop because it's community engagement. My district is mostly coastal. Different events coming in, especially during an election cycle or a charity cycle. It's nonstop activity. This is where people host things to raise money, raise awareness, support causes. So it's like first thing in the morning, and I don't get home till late at night, and everything's on the go, and you hope traffic is on your side. Other times you have a bit of time to play catch up. But I got to tell you, no day is the same. It's definitely not a 9 to 5, and my professional positions, and there's a couple of them, have taken a back seat because I wanted to prioritize certain projects that are timely, or commission votes, or budget time, and things like that. And just that's where it is constantly changing. Always filled with a lot of people, which is something that I really like, and is community engagement. I love public service, and politics is an interesting and supportive venue for public service. It's amazing that you'll have profound ideas and wonderful people presenting it, but without a hierarchy with a title, sometimes it doesn't go anywhere. But if you're the councilwoman, the commissioner, the state representative, it has more clout to the very authority of most great ideas that people bring to you. So I got hooked early on. I used to be on the city council in North Miami Beach. I was formerly on their police department, and I had great ideas and wanted to implement them, and I couldn't get any traction as a resident or a employee. So I ran for office, and one of the first things I did is we were self-insured, screening mammograms for all the women employees. And ironically, years later, I was a breast cancer survivor, but it made a difference, and I was hooked. Other situations where you have a great idea, but you listen to a judge and you say, let's do this. And it has all the credibility because you're the state representative. So I got hooked on to say, what a great venue to champion the causes. What a great opportunity with the title to do community achievements, where you can rally people up from a commission meeting or a piece of legislation, and then you bring it home. You ask the very people who had to implement things and do it all the time what they need to do it better. And then you give it to them because you're in a position to vote it or fund it. And it's great. I'd rather be referred to as a public servant than a politician a lot of times, I guess, especially in the trying times now with partisanship and bruising politicians who misuse their position. It's troublesome to be lumped together, but the good so outweighs the bad on just community achievements, engagement, doing positive things for the community. Ironically, if you could say, keep politics out of it. If we stay focused on the people we serve, policies in place, and use that as the benchmark to say, within these parameters, how can government make things better? How can we move things forward? How can we make things safer? Whatever the adjective might be or the objective might be, what do we need to do? Okay, and stay focused on that instead of, what's this going to do for my reelection? How does the party feel about this? And just stay focused on it. You know, I represent city government. I never forgot where my home base was. But when I went to Tallahassee, I never, ever doubted that I was coming back home, but the priority was home representation. People forget that. I was a city councilwoman, and I decided to leave, and they didn't have term limits. I figured I did enough. I didn't have to be elected in this capacity, made relationships. This is my home. I could have representation or work with others for others. And the legislature opened up, and it's like, I'm going for it because I like to do things at the state level, address the issue about discrimination for domestic violence victims, juvenile assessment.
Sure.
That was a biggie that turned into civil citations. Those type of things just at a state level, at a bigger venue. And but they had term limits. And I got to tell you something, it was horrid to see the transition. I got there just on the cusp of when it was starting. It empowered lobbyists. You had staff who were motivated under civil service to keep their job, not best policy and people they serve. And they basically ran things because you lost institutional knowledge. And one of our colleagues, who ironically, moved this term limit issue to the ballot, was unelected after one term when she did it. But what I'm seeing is, I strongly believe what Tip O'Neill said. Basically, all politics is local. A lot of things that are serious in nature can't be quickly done. They have to be mitigated, they have to be prepared, and stuff like that long term. When you have term limits, everybody's on a sense of urgency. And I saw the detriment it had with the state. It's one thing to change the guard, but at the same time, long-term plans like the tunnel. I'm working on something with a civil courthouse. It took 5 years to rally it, and we're still not at the point of moving ahead to move dirt. A whole bunch of things. I don't mind doing that. What would have happened with the port or big plans with the airport? These are significant, and if someone's not going to realize the fruits of all their energies beyond their own district here in Miami-Dade County, is it something they're going to still move forward on? Yeah. So I have a concern about that. I think it's short-sighted. I'd rather see we empower the voters, and I have to tell you, for myself, I vacillated of whether I was going to run again, but I want to do the rail project and the SMART plan. I want to revamp CGIS in the courts. I want that civil courthouse, and then I got to deal with a new corrections facility. Those are big projects, in addition to other things I want just in my district. So it was like, yes, but this would have been my last term, with or without term limits. It's time to let someone else, other people great are coming up, and move on and get fresh and different perspectives.